Welcome everyone to Brian's Action Figure Reviews, and we're back with episode 34 of Retro Wrestle Chat. And before we start the episode proper, I just want to say rest in peace to Brody Lee of AEW, who died two days ago, I think, when this goes out, at age 41 of an unknown lung condition, which in that day and age, at this age, is pretty fucked. So, yeah big shitty start to the show, just saying that even. So yeah. Any thoughts on how you watched him or anything in his career?
Well, as you know, Brian, I was a massive Wyatt family fan, so I did like Luke Harper a fucking hell of a lot. I just fucking thought he was very underrated as a wrestler. But yeah, man, I fucking woke up this morning and blew my fucking mind when I read that. I genuinely did. It kind of had shades of Eddie Guerrero the day I found out he died. I was kind of very much in that same vein. I think I just wasn't expecting it today. It was fucking weird, man. So I think it was because he wasn't like one of the older.
Yeah, there's no sign of him being sick or anything like.
And you had only said it. I mean, I don't know if you remember that, Rich. Brian brought it up a few weeks ago. That he had actually he had randomly gone off AEW TV.
Ankle injury.
The which?
An ankle injury.
Yeah, isn't that what they said? It was an ankle injury or something. But now, I don't know how true it is, but apparently it's flying around now that apparently AEW kind of knew about this a few weeks ago. So they were kind of helping as best they could as the weeks were going on or whatever. But yeah, shocking, man. Genuinely,
Yeah, so, I suppose just get on with the show. The show must go on, as they say. It always does and always will, as the world always turns. So, whose turn was it this week? Tubbs, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
So what did you make us watch this week?
I made you watch HBK versus Kurt Angle Wrestlemania 21 match.
And is this payback for making you watch Bret Hart last week?
God no, man. I fucking I've joked about this many times before, but I like Bret Hart, man. I mean, I like to rip the piss as much as I can, because outside of Rich and yourself, my mate Phil is a massive Bret Hart fan as well. So it's always been the running joke. But I actually really like Bret Hart. I picked this match because even growing up, this was always one of my favourite Mania matches. I just loved this match. Probably for very, very different reasons for most people, but it's just one of those matches that really kind of caught my attention and grabbed me when I watched it. So yeah, I just said fuck it, since we were coming into the triple digits, not triple digits, the hundreds, but the 30 mark of our show, I thought fuck it, man. You know what I mean? It's about time I fucking threw this into the bet and see.
My opening thoughts are this was great to watch because it was prime Kurt Angle, and this reminded me of why I hated seeing Kurt Angle on WWE TV the last 2 years of his career, because it's absolutely horrible to watch him. But,
I mean, the time frame of this was very much that, wasn't it? Because I think the year before this, he fought Eddie at Mania, and there was just a string of fucking amazing Kurt Angle matches in this 2-3 year period that this match happened in. And these two had never wrestled up to this point, which was crazy.
I will say the storyline was good, but I thought the feeling out process at the start went on a bit too long.
It did. But look, I mean, I'm not going to throw any of my opinions on and try and say you're wrong or not, because at the end of the day, it's your viewing thing on the match. I just loved that the whole thing was a story arc, and this match for me was very much two top tier talents striking with ring psychology for 30 plus minutes. The whole match was just laced with ring psychology, and if you watch it in a whole, that whole feeling out process at the start was Micheals trying to out wrestle Angle, but it ended up being down to his own detriment, because he pissed Angle off, and Angle ripped him to pieces as the match went on and battered him So it kind of came back to it, kind of similar to later on when Angle decides to not go groundwork and decides to go up top. It comes back to bite him. This was very much the cycle of this match, when they went away from their their style to try and match the other guy. It's kind of how they kept getting caught. If you get me.
Rich, you've been dangerously quiet. I want to hear your thoughts on this.
This match was shit.
Yeah, come here. The minute I said HBK, I knew it.
No, not even that. 10 minutes before fucking anything actually properly happened. 10 fucking minutes. I spent the whole time. Hey man, it's not even HBK. I love HBK fucking Taker Hell in a Cell match. You know what I mean? It's not because it's HBK. This match was just fucking boring. Straight up fucking boring. Like, the things, it sounds weird the certain way to say. This match was boring. It was fucking too long. Some of this, like, what they were doing was good, but it was just fucking for 35 minutes of this bullshit. Man, like, fuck that, man. Like, do you know what? It's see, I shit you not, I'll be making a big statement at the end of this, but it's shit like this that makes me fucking question watching wrestling. Like, I honestly sat there, I had to rewind this about 5 times to watch this match. Because, like, I found myself, like, drifting away and going back. The only time I kind of, like, I'd be, oh, fuck, what's the commentator getting excited for? Like, no, the angle slam off the fucking, the turnbuckle. I was like, oh, fuck, like, I've actually just fucking drifted away from watching this for fucking 10 minutes. Hand to rewind it, kind of thing. This match was a fucking struggle for me to watch. Honestly, these are 2 top-tier wrestlers. And you think you're going to me personally, it should be fucking magic. I get the storyline. I get what they're trying to do. This was just fucking boring. Man, do I really want to watch about fucking half an hour of 2 guys rolling about the fucking ground? No. If I want to watch that, I'll go watch actual mat wrestling. Not fake wrestling, like fucking them rolling about. Nah, man. Fucking stupid.
Fair enough, dude.
Like, that's our show.
If you don't like it, you don't like it. But I 100% disagree with that. I watched this match for the entire thing. Look, and it's not a dig at Rich in any way, man, because at the end of the day, look, you're allowed to not like a match. But for me, man, I watched this, and it's not even the match. Or like, I mean, look, man, I'll say hands down, I love this match. This is one of my favorite matches. But there are tiny bits in this match that annoyed me. Like, the referee kind of got involved way too much at the start. I was going to go, man, stop.
What the fuck was he slapping the hands every time someone did a chop?
That annoyed. Look, I understood because it was one of those things where, like, you know, Angle's, it's all story based. It's Angle's getting frustrated because, you know, and now he's gone in, he's gone in too heavy. But at the same time, it's a fucking wrestling match, you know? Let him fucking go. But no, for me, I watched this match, man, and like this, it's the ring psychology of this match is what drew me in. It's like it's rolling into the ring to roll back out and break the pins. It's the way they were setting up the things. It was like, if you look at it, even it was like later on, like even just go to the finish. You know, it goes back to the very beginning when HBK slaps Angle, and Angle gets fueled up and tears him straight to the ground. He tries it again later in the match, and Angle takes his head clean off. It was just these little moments where it was the things they tried. It was when they broke their styles. It was when they were trying to get, you know, like they were trying to one up each other. It was when they failed and got caught. That's kind of what happened. And it was like, was there matches? Yeah. HBK went to do a crossbody off the top rope in this match. And you could see he lost his balance before he jumped. But brought colour into the match, fueled Angle up. It was just, for me, like, I remember watching this at 21. And 21 was a pretty stacked event, you know, for the most part. But this one, for me, man, it was just, I love these 2 guys. These 2's, because if you remember, this was the second coming of HBK. This is when HBK came back and really kind of like began a second chapter in a career. So he was in a different. This is where he started to become Mr. Wrestlemania. He was never, like, the people used to think it was like, oh, he's always had it. He was never, that Mr. Wrestlemania thing didn't become that gimmick until after he came back. So this is when he started to build this, and then you had Angle, that was like the Olympic gold medalist, and it was all in the promo. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't have to go over it again, but, you know, like, he was beating up like Sherry and Jannetty and trying to take him all out to piss him off and get under his skin because he felt he was the best at that time. And you could see it at the very start of the match. When HBK gets in the ring, he's not taking him serious. You know, he's smirking at him. It's like, I'm HBK, I'm Mr. WrestleMania, and then after he slaps him, he kind of gets a wake-up call straight off the bat. I just thought there was a lot of moments in this match where it was genuinely, it was storytelling at a very high level and psychology mixed into the entire match as it flew. Like, it was 36, 7 minutes in total with entrances and promo and whatever it was. But yeah, I mean, like, it was just juice with ring psychology, man. And I love that. Look, that's me personally, man. That's a personal thing with me. I love story-based wrestling, as you know, but I love good ring psychology, and these two guys just fucking came at it with that. I mean, yeah, was the first 10 minutes of the match slow paced? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I would have preferred to have had 5 minutes of mat wrestling and a lot more, do you know, high octane moves.
For me, like, it just felt like that whole 10 minutes was HBK having Kurt Angle in a fucking headlock or side headlock or whatever they call it. Rest hold city, basically. For me,
it was like.
Let's jump straight into bad points, since we're kind of on that anyway. I'll go first. There was a bump on the table where Micheals tried to do a fucking moonsault onto the table and the table didn't break. And it just ended up in a floor.
Reinforced tables now.
Yeah, tables just don't break, basically.
I'll be honest, man. I thought that bump looked 10 times worse because it didn't break.
But that's the point. It shouldn't have looked worse because it probably fucked them up inside.
Oh yeah, but it did. But I mean, visually, it looked like the two of them like had been in a car crash. It just looked good. But even though it was this. I've heard the two boys talk about this on like interviews and stuff, and it was meant to break.
Yeah.
But it didn't break. You know.
What else? I think probably the worst part was the opening 10 or so minutes with all the rest holds. I get what they were trying to achieve, but they could have been, I don't know, more creative.
Execute better.
Yes, more executed better and more creative with it. Instead of constantly going back to the same, I'm going to hold your head until piss you off. It's like, you might as well be giving him a fucking noogie or something. Yeah. Other than that, the length as well, it was too long. They should have, like you say, even cut that section, quarter that section maybe even, down to 3 minutes of that. I know it's Wrestlemania and they want to go big and go massive with everything, but yeah, they could have shaved some time off of that, definitely. And yeah, so that's my. Is there more? No, I'll leave it at that. The referee annoyed me as well with his over exaggeration of everything. But anyway, yeah. Bad moments, Tubbs. Before we go to
the ref was one for me. The ref was a big factor for me in the first opening 10 minutes. I think, isn't that Earl Hefner's son?
Yeah, I think so, or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's who it is. Brian Hefner. Yeah. I just
Hugh Hefner's son.
like, obviously I couldn't remember that part of it when I look back at this match like this week, but I couldn't remember him being like getting that much in. Like, I mean, I couldn't, like, obviously, like, I was trying to figure out, like, why are you doing that?
He was literally throwing the punches as they were being punched, like.
Yeah, I mean, but it was even when they were on the ropes. I get it, you know, like Micheals. It's kind of like that whole boxing thing. They're in the corner, but I was kind of going to that boxing. You know, why are you trying to break them up here? Like, that kind of bothered me a little bit. I was kind of going like, okay, I get what they're doing, but I don't like this. And I genuinely was even watching it going like, okay, I understand this. I understand it's part of the story. Angle's getting too aggressive, and it's supposed to be a wrestling match. But I didn't like it. I just didn't. I was going, I could do without the referee being locked into this, like, you know. Yeah, look, I'll agree that the opening 10 minutes could have been shaved off to about 5 as well. It could have been 5 minutes shorter. They still could have got where they needed to go without it going on for that length of time. It didn't bother me though. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it really didn't, because I understood the story. I was involved. I was engrossed. But yeah, that part. But it was obviously, as I said, as much as I loved the two spots, there were obviously two botches: the crossbody and the dive off through the table. But that's weird. I wouldn't call them my worst spots either, but I put them in there because they were botches. But yeah, and the ref was a big issue with me at the start. He just annoyed me. Brian Hefner, I don't even think he's around anymore, is he? But Yeah, and there's just fucking the length. I mean, look, I would say, look, I know what you're saying about shaving the match down. I don't think the match should be shaved down as much as you think, though, because I think it's at 5 minutes maybe, because we've watched New Japan wrestling matches that have been an hour long, and anyone outside of us, like, we're highly entertained watching them, but anyone outside of us could make the call that they should be half an hour shorter, or 40 minutes shorter. It is. I mean, I think it calls for the match, like the Kenny Omega match with Okada, like that needed to be an hour long
Mm.
to really get the whole concept of what that match was all
That
about.
match was actually an hour. Was meant to be an hour long. That was an Iron Man match.
Well,
So it
No,
had to
but
be an hour long.
my point is but that's the point of it. No, but that's what I mean, Rich. That's the point of it. Is that match needed to be an hour long to get where they needed to go. This match needed to be at least a half an hour long. It's a first encounter. It's the first time these guys. It needed to be like a big match for these two guys. You couldn't have told it in 30, like they told it in 36 minutes. They could have told it in 20, 25, 30 minutes. So they could have shaved 5 minutes off this easily at the very beginning, after they got going. But once they got out of the ring, once Micheals kind of like got him to the outside, and that match took off, that was I wouldn't have shaved any of that off from there to the end. I just thought that was all.
I agree with you there. I think once they went outside the ring, it was fine.
It's the opening 10 minute sequence or section could have been shortened by about 5 minutes. I agree with you on that. But I think once they got going, once they got to the outside and they were around and back in the ring again, the match had taken off. Then it was where it was needed. It needed to be at that point, if that makes sense.
And give us your bad points, Rich, even though you kind of gave them to us already. But
10 minutes of fucking wastage at the very fucking beginning. That ending. Am I really going to fucking watch like 2 fucking minutes of Shawn Michaels not tapping to the angle fucking the ankle? Man, I was so fucking over it. You knew he was going to eventually tap out to it. But why did it fucking drag on? I'm sorry, it fucking dragged on. He kept rolling about like a fucking child in the fucking ankle lock, then takes angle to fucking proper lock it in, line down, and he's all fucking swimming about like a little fucking greeting kid, and it just dragged on. That you could have shaved him off that easily.
You could
have. To me, this match was far too. I get what you're saying, Tubbs, but to me personally, this match was too long, too much fucking rolling about on the mat for my liking, too much of it. It's not because fucking Shawn Michaels is in this match. I expect more because Shawn Michaels is in this match. Does that make sense? I expect more from him than not be fucking rolling about the fucking ground. I get why he's doing it because he's against fucking Angle, but to me this was just like, honestly, I appreciate the technicality on the both wrestlers, but to me it was still boring as fuck. I generally don't have much good things to say regarding this.
Fair enough. So we'll move on to good spots then.
You might as well go again, the good spots, since we're full circle.
Yeah, so for me, good spots. I'm going to disagree with you on the ending, Rich. I really liked it. I think Michael's selling was excellent in this match. It was I think it was over exaggerated because, like, he had the whole Mr. Wrestlemania thing, and the reason he fucking bitched around so much was it really, I think it made Angle look stronger, because anybody else he would have gotten out of it, but Angle held on to him and made him fucking tap out of WrestleMania.
I think it's probably me though, right, boys? Sorry to interrupt though. It's probably me, right? I watch a lot of UFC, right? Anyone who's put in any fucking submission for that length of time, ankle will either be fucking snapped or you'll fucking tapped.
Yeah, that's right. But again,
you know what I mean?
You can't compare the two.
I know I'm not fucking comparing apples and oranges here, but I'm just like, realistically, I was like, because it kept going on and on to me personally, for longer than it should have. You know what I mean? I was just like, okay, I'm fucking over it.
Yeah, I think that comes with
like the part where Shawn Michaels puts his hand up, almost like you think he's like trying to keep himself awake, kind of thing. You know, like the he's kind of like that, but he puts his hand. I'm like, put your hand down, boy. Stop being a put that down. Like, it just, everything in that segment kind of one thing I really enjoyed about that was that where fucking Kurt reversed the switch of music into the ankle lock to win?
No. The sequence was, if you remember, he got super kicked out of nowhere, and he kicked out at the last minute, and HBK was getting up, and he kind of shocked or whatever, and then within a second he had him in the ankle lock.
It was just the only part of that ending was when Kurt Angle realized having the traditional stance wasn't going to work, so he had to lie down and multiply all fucks. He couldn't score him back anymore. That was the only part of the ending I did appreciate. But like I say, honestly, what was it, a minute or two fucking in that lock? Like I say, realistically, it shouldn't have went on that long.
Because I will say one thing, right? I remember watching this the first time myself, and I can remember how I was feeling, and I was like, "Come on, Angle, lie down and lock it in." I wanted Angle to win, because I was a big Kurt Angle fan. I didn't really like Shawn Micheals even now, but I know how Kurt Angle usually wins with this ankle lock, and I was like, "Come on, you're standing up. You usually fucking drop down and they can't get out of it." So even back then, I was screaming for him to. He did go on long that he was standing up, and I was just wait again. I knew it was coming in this match. So I was like, "Come on!" But it built the tension a bit, so I kind of liked it. You could feel it in the crowd as well. The crowd, the atmosphere was building.
With this one, Brian, right? And just going back to what Rich was saying about Joe, it went on too long on kind of what you were saying there. Think back to when this match happened, and these guys had never faced each other. Now, I'm not saying what we liked or whatever. This is wrestling in general. If you'd never seen this match, if you were watching that live, there was a reason that was done, because Shawn Michaels was Mr. WrestleMania. Do you know what I mean? People expected, as Rich said, the highest tier. And then Angle had to lock in that knee lock on the ankle. He had the ankle lock in, but he had to sit down into the knee lock to put him away. That's why it was all done exaggeratedly and kind of longer, because people were going to go, "Oh my God, is he actually going to beat HBK here?" It was there to build the tension and the drama, as you said. And because and as you said, you build with the crowd. The crowd are giving it to you, go longer. It's a fucking thing, and I think that's basically why that happened the way it did. It didn't piss me off at all. I mean, as I said, I'll agree with Rich in one sense. You could have shaved a few, and a minute off it. It didn't have to go on as long as it did, but it didn't bother me that it went on, because I remember watching that. And as you just, to your point, you were a massive Kurt Angle fan, as you both know. I was a massive HBK fan. I love Kurt Angle as well. He's I would put Kurt in my top 3 favorite wrestlers. But when Kurt beat him, I was like, "Oh my fucking God!" I had the reverse feeling you had when you watched it live. You know what I mean, in that sense. So I understand it, and I understand both points. I understand why it was done the way it was done. I understand why it could have shaved a few minutes off the beginning and the end. In that sense as well.
I have 2 other high spots from my opinion. The second was Kurt Angle's moonsault. Now, I know he missed it, but just the cleanness of the crispness, the way he left off, he was like a fucking trapeze artist or something, the way he jumped.
It's like he stays in the air for so good. Fucking long. It's, when he does it, it's this, and then it's this. Yeah. It's the impact. There's probably a reason people move every time. The way he does that moonsault and the velocity of him coming down, if he hits you, he's gonna fuck you up. That's not like a regular moonsault. That's I think he does it that way because he knows he's missing.
And my other thing as well is another Angle high spot, is that fucking Angle slam from the top rope.
Yeah,
the speed he gets up there out of nowhere is just fucking. It used to terrify me how he could just fucking sprint up to the top rope and then fuck you off it within seconds. It was so cool seeing it, and again made me so pissed off that WWE put him out in front of people the way he was a year ago.
Yeah. He did the end of Kurt Angle in WWE was when it was all said and done was not a positive one in my opinion. But
no, he was a broken down old man in my opinion. Yeah. But anyway, what's your high spots? Tubbs.
Go on, Rich. Go on. No, we'll fly back. Go on.
I did think he did do the ankle lock from the switch of music, did he?
He did once, yeah.
In the middle of the match, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was pretty cool. You know what I mean? instead of blocking or ducking kind of thing, to actually take someone's finisher and then reverse it into your finisher so swiftly. I thought that was pretty cool. The angle slam off the buckle, the turnbuckle, I thought it was fucking brutal as fuck. It was like small things that really kind of enticed me during this kind of thing. I do give you Bright angle going off the top rope though. Like, just, you think he was natural at doing that shit.
He's like a fucking swan or something.
Oh man, like he did that better than some folk who work the turnbuckles like often. The way that he did his size, he did it so good. Like, it would have been nice to see him land it. You know what I mean? It's just like the way we're trying to say it, Brian, is the execution of how Angle did it was perfection.
Yeah.
It's just a shame that he didn't actually land on Micheals. It would have been cool to see him land it, just because it was so perfect, the setup to do it. It was just the third part, the actual landing on it, was executed badly. But fuck, that was really it for me.
It's like with Angle though, just to build on that point a bit. It's like when Angle decides to try his hand at something, he 100% fucking does it. Like,
yeah, that's
what I loved about him as well years ago. And also, before you go, Tubbs, there was one other moment that I forgot outside the ring where Kurt Angle with the Angle slam just fucks Shawn Michaels into the ring post.
I was like, oh, glorious!
That hurt.
Yeah, so like basically, me, like, I think you've read over the majority of the things I was going to pick. Like the Angle slam into the post on the outside, I thought was fucking savage. The super kick being reversed into the ankle lock in the middle of the match was brilliant. The Angle slam off the top rope. One thing I did love was it was actually my favorite spot of the match was when Kurt was like dragging Michaels up by the fucking throat, screaming at him. And he was like fucking screaming into his face, whatever, and then out of nowhere, Michaels just fucking super kicks him clean into the fucking chin. I just the way it happened so fast, I just loved it. But the ending sequence, I loved. Now, I don't mean the ending part where Michaels was like hand up in the air, ready to tap and stuff. I just mean when Michaels was getting up and Angle just locked him in. And it went into this like panic mode. You could see panic was happening then. And it was just like he tried to, like, because all through the match you would see it, every time Angle would have it on him, he'd flip him out of it, or he'd flip it into a pin. Do you know, he'd roll him up into a pin or something. This time round, it was like when he did it, Angle had that locked. Like, Angle knew he had it placed. He knew he had him. And then, like, Angle went down, he was rolling him around the floor, Angle wouldn't let go. I just thought, I was going, oh my God, this is like, I just remember this being so visceral. Like, Angle was like going, you could see he was like a target. He had a target on him, and he finally hit that target. And Michaels was fucked. He could not get out of that move at the end. And then when he locked in the knee bar, then it was game over. But there was so many, like, for me, there was so many moments in this match. Like, as Rich said, there wasn't, like, you know, he liked moments of it. I loved a lot of moments in it. Like all the belly to bellies were savage, man. Do you know what I mean? The fucking, and even, to be fair, I don't know if you remember, Brian, there was like a basic suplex Angle did to Michaels. I think it was like the 15-minute mark of the match. When Michaels hit the mat, it was like a fucking gunshot going off in the arena. He hit him so hard with it. And that's what I love about Kurt Angle. He's just, his style is so fucking hard hitting. Do you know what I mean? He's like, everything he does looks and feels sore and impactful, you know?
So Tubbs, we're coming up on the 30-minute mark now, so I'm gonna let you score first, because I have a feeling you're going to score the highest out of all of us.
I am, because I do, as I said, this is my favourite match, and it's not. I'm not scoring it because it's my favourite match. I'm scoring it because, you know, looking back at it, we went back and looked at this match, and this match still holds up massively for me. So, you know, as I said, like Taker and Undertaker, I'm landing on a 9.5.
Taker and Undertaker?
Oh, sorry, Shawn Michaels and Undertaker. I landed 9.5 on that. I'm landing 9.5 on this.
Rich?
2.
Wow.
Yeah, Rich, I just think you're being fucking. Look. 2 is your opinion, but I think you're underselling this massively, man. This match was way better than the 2, in my humble opinion.
Your opinion, though, that you didn't have to sit there and rewind it like fucking 5 times to try and watch this because you weren't entertained by it. You were entertained. I wasn't entertained. I had to keep rewinding a match for all this kind of thing. 2's been generous.
I will give it an 8 from my side.
Good man. Because I think it's deserving of an 8 or higher, but that's just my opinion.
Rich, what is your choice for next week's show, episode number 25 or 35?
Right, it's not a retro match, but because it's the end of the year, I thought I'd pick a match from this year. So It's going to be NXT Super Tuesday 2. We're going to have Adam Cole again versus Finn Balor for the NXT Championship.
Nice, I haven't seen that, so that's good.
And
That's
after
good.
that I am announcing I am taking a break from this.
Okay.
It's too much, boys, right now for me just to put aside fucking watching wrestling, especially when my heart's not in it right now for like watching wrestling. Like, I've stopped watching wrestling this year, and honestly, no offense to you boys, but see, watching this match today, it just that was the fucking cherry on the cake to be like, dude, see out the year, let the boys continue, then jump back in later on once you get things fucking sorted.
Okay, guys, so tune in next week for Rich's partial farewell. Later, guys.